welcome back to Whisky Wins with me, Stuart. Today we've got Bruichladdich. I think I've only ever reviewed one official bottle of Bruichladdich and maybe a couple independent bottlers. But anyway, yeah, today we've got Bruichladdich 2008 Bere Barley, bottled in 2017, making it around about 9-year-old. It was £70 when it first came out, bottled at 50% ABV, no chill filtration and colouring free. The barley itself, it says Islay grown, Dunlosset estate, high provenance, single estate beer barley, Bruichladdich barley provenance series. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Conceived, distilled, matured and bottled, unchill filtered and colouring free at Bruichladdich distillery. It's actually quite difficult to read with the bronze writing on the black background. I've got the tin here. The reason the kitchen towel's here is because it's a little bit rusty at the bottom. There's loads of gumph, loads of writing on it. I'm not going to read all that. I've never actually read it. I don't really care too much. There's something about romanticism on there. Romantically, one can certainly attribute Viking qualities, blah blah blah. I'm not bothered. So we'll get down to the whiskey itself. I'll show you the label as well. Hopefully give me a good thumbnail. So yeah, it kind of shows you where the barley's grown and where Bruichladdich is. I'm not sure if you're able to see it on my little map of Islay there. So we'll get down to the nose, the palate, the finish, and we'll see if it's a Whisky Win or a Whisky Bin. What was I going to say? I don't know about the peated element of it. I always get confused with Bunnahabhain and Bruichladdich and which one's peated and which one's not. But I feel like Bruichladdich is quite lightly peated because I'm sure they got criticised for being not very good. Maybe not very good, but not peated enough. And that's why they came out with the Optimor range. That could be complete utter bull, but I'm sure that's what I've heard. Anyway, so we'll just pretend it's real. The nose, there's citrus, there's yeast, there's wet hay, there's obviously the barley for sure. It's a little spirity on the nose with a 50% ABV. I'm not going to add water to this. I've had it a couple of times. I'm not actually. This has been sitting for ages, by the way, this bottle. I keep forgetting it's there because it's like squirreled away behind the barrel. There's like sugar cubes there, just as if you were going to a little tea house and they give you a little cube tray with sugar cubes on it. And possibly like a bit of coconut there as well. Yeah, coconut, something like that. The palate. Apple crumble, straight away. It's malty as fuck. I mean, this is so heavily malty on the nose, on the palate. There's sourdough crust, kind of sourdough toasted crust, something like that. There's like a bit of a chalky element, a bit of a mineralistic aspect to it. Is mineralistic a word? There's kiwi as well. There's also possibly a little bit of a spiciness just on the palate, but not quite subtle there. It doesn't need water at all, I don't feel. There's more coconut on the palate. It's quite oily, quite creamy with that coconut feel, that kind of oily coconut mouthfeel to it. As if, I don't know if you've ever just eaten coconut oil that comes in a little tub, or if you've just ate plenty of coconut kind of bits. I don't know what they're called, like coconut cubes. You get them in a little packet. Anyway, it's you know what coconut tastes like. So it's coconut and creamy, and I think that's all on the on the palate. The finish. Yeah, the finish is long. There's like a lemon meringue pie or a lemon custard or just something lemony there on the finish. There's like a little spiciness from black pepper or some sort of pepper. Like I was saying, on the palate, it's there, but it's more in the finish. Just a little bit of pepper there. There's more coconut again. I feel like the coconut's quite a consistent element, consistent characteristic for this whiskey, because it's in the nose, it's in the palate, and it's in the finish. And there's also more more of that chalk element there in the finish as well. Yeah, definitely. The mouthfeel's just fantastic. It's like I say, I've not had a lot of it. I don't know why. Bruichladdich not a distillery that I that I really engage with too often, and maybe I should do it more often. But I've got another review coming out next week that will be Bruichladdich as well. But anyway, I'll get down to the. I'm sorry, I'm picking away at the label. I'm terrible for just fidgeting. There we go. So we'll get down to review this, see if it's a Whisky Win or a Whisky Bin. If you're new here, I rate my whiskies on 3 factors. Would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? So we'll start with the price. It was £70. Do I think that's worth £70? 9-year-old. This came out in 2017. I mean, yeah, I think I don't feel hard done by £70. I didn't pay for this bottle. Stevie gave me this. He was struggling with it, and that's how I've had it sitting for years. It's terrible how long I've had this sitting for. We probably had it sitting since I actually moved into the house, and I don't think I've touched it. So that is like 2017. That's yeah, Jesus, 7 years ago. So yeah, I do think it's worth £70. I need to spend more time with this. I need to explore it more, enjoy it more, savour it, because it is actually a really good whiskey. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I think you should try it. It's something a little bit different with the Bere Barley, something a bit unique. I believe Bere Barley is kind of barley that was grown in Scotland hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands, and it was such a rugged kind of barley that would survive these climates. Obviously, now we don't really need to, because we've got the science and the technology to just make barley basically grow anywhere we want. But yeah, so I would recommend it. I do think it's worth it. Would I buy it again? Unfortunately, no, I wouldn't, just because I think not reaching for it often enough is probably an indicator of like how much I want to drink it. So I wouldn't buy it again, but I would like to explore more Bere Barley options from Bruichladdich, and possibly I should explore more Bruichladdich as it is. So it's 283. It's a Whisky Win. I hope you've enjoyed the review. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.